no point in any of that was I playing Spangalang.
Oh, hi there. If you play jazz drums, the holy grail is often up-tempo beats. And even if you don't get super fired up, you need to be able to play them if a gig you're playing calls for it, or if somebody calls Cherokee or Countdown at a jam session. There's just one problem. Developing the ride cymbal hand to the point where you can play Spangalang at 300 BPM for 15 to 20 minutes straight and stay relaxed takes years. But you don't have those years. Bart, who runs the Tuesday night session downtown, called you to sub next Tuesday. And Bart likes to play My Shining Hour bright, like really bright. And if you don't nail this, it's bad. The landlord's been over every day this week demanding the back rent, and you're getting tired of hiding in the laundry hamper. You need this work. Okay, bring it in. I've got you. Today, we're going to cover 5 hacks to play up-tempo jazz tunes on the drum kit, even if you don't have the right hand of a Tony Williams or an Art Taylor, so that you can keep the gig. So you don't have to put the family car up on sawhorses so you can pawn the tires, or tell the kids sawdust is one of the 4 food groups again. Today on 80/20, up-tempo jazz drum hacks. Stay tuned. Let's jump straight into hack number 1. Don't play boom chick, play a beat. Let me show you a couple of examples. Here's Clarence Penn on Adam Rogers' tune, Confluence. Here's Brian Blade on Joshua Redman's tune, Just in Time. And here's Greg Hutchinson on another Josh Redman tune, Courage. Notice anything in common? They're not just playing Spangalang. Let's go to the kit and demonstrate. Here's the basic beat Clarence was playing. Notice anything strange? I'll play it again. Okay, I'll tell you. I wasn't playing Spangalang at all, only quarters. Let me slow it down and play the most basic version of the beat. This and all the beats from this lesson are available for download for free by clicking the link below the player. So if somebody calls My Shining Hour at 300 BPM, which nobody does, by the way, no one refers to BPM, they just count it off. But let's just pretend you're good to go. You're golden over here. Yeah, boss, I got it. Next. Of course, there are variations you can get into, but we'll get into that later. Let's talk about hack number 2, playing something to cue the solos in. Let's listen to Blade again. Post-Redman, pre-Wayne Shorter Blade was the king of this. Here's Tony Williams doing something similar. Here's Art Taylor. Let's go through 3 variations of this you can use. Here's my 100% favorite setup. Check out how it sets up the next section. My favorite thing about breaks like this is that they're a simple way to count off the band and make sure everybody's super clear on where the beat is, but it's also hip as hell. Now I'll play it slowly. Here's number 2, a classic for coming out of solos or trading. I tend to think of this lick like ending your statement and handing it back to the band, whereas the first one is like, let's just play this section together. Maybe just me. Third is something you would have heard Arthur Taylor or Max Roach do a lot, which is just this. Hand to hand, lightly swung. You can also invert it, which sounds equally hip. Okay, so why are we talking about setups here? Isn't the point of this video to show you what to do during the actual beat? Well, I'd argue a big part of playing up-tempo jazz grooves is setting them up. And as I've said, natural places to call out for setups are at the end of the head of a tune before the first solo. Between solos. after a drum solo or trading. And even within a single solo with stuff like going to double time. Plus, check it out when I combine one of these setups with the up-tempo beat we were discussing before. That already sounds a lot more interesting than simple quarters with hats on 2 and 4, right? Which brings us to hack number 3, 3-beat phrases. You don't want to overuse this, but here's Brian Blade again, playing an accent every 3 beats. This is a great way to break up the phrase, particularly during intense parts of the solo, or right at the beginning if you want to give the soloist a big send-off. Let's go over to the kit so I can demonstrate. Here I am playing one of our intros, then launching into a beat phrase. Let me slow it down. The exact number of times you repeat the 3-beat phrase and where you resolve it are kind of up to you. You can repeat it every 2 bars, or let it loop over more bars until it resolves. What do you do with the hi-hat? Anything goes. You can continue to play it on 2 and 4. You can play it on the second beat of every 3-beat phrase, which is probably the most likely thing a real jazz drummer would do, though who knows. Or, controversial, you can just leave it out entirely. A lot of jam session musicians will look at you askance if they don't hear those hats on 2 and 4, so just be prepared. But it's better to leave the hats out than have them be a coordination impediment. Just remember to play the phrase strongly and clearly. Which brings us to hack 4, freedom within the groove. See what I did there? In all sincerity though, let's listen to Clarence Penn again. Remember hack 1, the jazz beat? Clarence doesn't just repeat the beat, he varies it and incorporates phrases. So let's talk about one way I just figured out to teach this. Instead of playing a big beat 4 on every 2 bars, as Clarence did on that Adam Rogers record, I'm playing beat 4 on the first bar of every 4 bars, which leaves me some space in between to make other phrases. And it's here that you can improvise a little. You can start out with quarters on the snare, add in a little kick drum, and if your technique and coordination allow, do some 8s too. If I've managed to find some walking bass to play this along with, you'll be hearing that. Otherwise, hopefully you get the idea. Now, check out how it sounds if I combine all the hacks we've had so far. I'll start with a count-in idiom. I'll play the jazz beat for a while with a little variation. Then I'll play some 3-beat phrases. Sounds pretty decent, right? And at no point am I playing the skip note or spangling on the cymbal. Which, finally, brings us to hack number 5, which is kind of a trick hack. Actually learn to play the ride cymbal that fast. Hear me out, hear me out. We're faking it till we make it, right? But you need to use the time you're buying for yourself by faking it to learn it, but it doesn't have to be hard. Let me show you 2 quick drills. The first is from a video I did last year about basic ride cymbal technique. This will get you from 0 to 1. The way a lot of people teach this is they want you to really exaggerate the rebound. That's good to do. That's more of an advanced thing. That's more of a 201 thing. What we're gonna do instead is teach you to go. Then we're gonna speed it up. We're gonna put those components together. The next is the drop catch, which I've covered in a few videos, but basically what happens is wrist drops, stick hits the drum, wrist retracts, you get 2 strokes for the price of 1. That's deep, that's abstract. Real world, here's what it looks like. You can practice this with both hands. And I recommend an exercise that goes like this. 3, 4. let's put those strokes together. Because what we're really doing when we're hitting the ride cymbal at a slow tempo is an attenuated full stroke and then a drop catch. So if we start slowly and we speed it up, eventually we're going to get to something that's more like. And as you can see what's happening there, it really is that my stick is coming up and then without relowering it, I'm just catching the drop catch on the rebound. The next thing I want to show you is for somebody who's already got the basics down for the ride cymbal, but just can't do it very fast yet. My former teacher, John, talks about sprint exercises. So I'm pretty sure I stole this idea from him. But the gist is you play 2 and 4 for a period, then try to play the whole Spangalang. If you're practicing super fast, you can limit the time you're spending Spangalanging to just like 2 bars. Or even 1 bar. Then you can do 1 bar of 2 and 4 and 2 bars of Spangalang. Throughout, I'm trying to be relaxed. When it clicks, it should feel like you're not expending any effort, but the bounces are just sort of coming to you. Finally, another variation I like, the smooth criminal. Come on, you hear it, right? And just a reminder that all of these will be transcribed for you, and you can download them for free at the link below the player. When you finally get the ride cymbal hitting, you can just layer it on top of all those idioms and beats we've already been practicing. Check it! And that's how you get the gig. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this one, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified every time I publish a new episode. And just a reminder that if you want a completely free transcription of the exercises in this video, you can get that by clicking the link below the player and entering your email address on the next page. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoy these. See you again real soon in another Lesson of the Week.